Welcome to this edition of the Million Dollar Mastermind podcast. This is where we pick the brains of high achievers from all walks of life and get their hard-earned, real-world insights on winning. I'm your host, Larry Weidel. I'll tell you a story, how glad I was when I heard, and I saw you had been hired with Organicell, which I've known, the background and everything for quite a while, and the all the ins and outs of the evolution of that company. But I am, they have a product that is like beyond stem cells. It's like, without getting into any kind of a technical thing, but I've been using that product for so long. And the thing is, it basically had people running it who had no business running the company. I don't know how they got up to that point, but we're living in mortal fear that this whole great life-saving, I meet people every day that I wish I could get, refer them to somebody to get some of this stuff, and I was, the first thing is I wanted to make sure it was still out there for me to use, and, but
the area we're talking about is, it's called exosomes.
Yeah.
And exosomes are related to stem cells. So most people have heard of stem cells, which are cells that basically are neutral and can grow into any type of other tissue, but they're still very experimental. They're used in blood cancers like leukemia, and they're being tested for a whole bunch of stuff. But every cell in the body has these tiny little micro nanoparticles. They're 1,000th the width of a human hair, and in them are all sorts of RNA and DNA, and they can cause the body to damp down inflammation, like if you have knee arthritis, or they can sometimes cause tissues to regrow, like cartilage in your knee or hair or whatever.
Yeah.
So this is an area called regenerative medicine, healing the body through its own natural processes. And that's what we're working on right now. And so this is really cutting edge stuff. But rather than putting Band-Aids on diseases, like writing prescriptions and medications, 50% of people over the age of 65 are on 5 meds and 20% are on 10 meds.
Wow.
Think about it, 10 medications. Rather than all these medications, if we can use the body's own processes to heal itself, that's miraculous. So that's what we're working on.
Yeah, because so much of Western medicine, does great things, but so much of it is, comes down to a pill or surgery.
Right.
And, preventative stuff, regenerative, forget it. And so, maybe go to your PT and hope that they can come up with something. But to get into real regenerative chemistry and have things that are proven that can rebuild and regrow, now, it's very exciting. How did you get exposed to this? How did you get exposed to it?
By the way, though, it's also very early, cutting edge. I mean, we're on a path to submit studies to the FDA to get approval. Most of these things are still in research, but there are some applications where you can, some people may know platelet-rich plasma. We have a variation of that has exosomes that you can use today. But how did I learn about it? I knew a little bit about this field, but frankly, some of the investors in the company, you mentioned the prior leadership was not doing too well by the company, and there was a number of key investors who brought me in to basically turn the company around. So that sounds negative, but turning a company around, if it's got something really good to offer, and getting the right people on board and getting people focused on the right thing and getting rid of the stuff that doesn't make any sense, that's the kind of magic I like doing with other people, not alone, of course.
And, the idea is you're not fresh out of med school and you're 25 years into your career or longer. And so you probably don't want to take 15, 20 years for this. You probably wouldn't have got involved in this. The exciting part of excitement is that things can happen fairly quickly. Now, when it comes to medicine,
in a matter of
you got restrictions and studies, and every study is $5 million, and
right.
And so,
this is a race among a number of organizations to get the FDA to approve these exosome therapies, and it's very, very exciting. The great thing about them is it looks like they're really safe. So to have something that can help but can't hurt you in most cases, that's what's because most drugs have side effects, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very exciting venture, but the idea that we can help people grow hair or repair their knee arthritis, or this is being even used, believe it or not, in sexual medicine, these exosomes, I mean, they're being tried in everything.
Yeah. And so it's just, and I've heard a year ago, way before I met you or heard that you were joining the team, heard about another group working with another group in LA on brain research, and regeneration, which is very exciting when you look at all the Alzheimer's and things that, the brain diseases are going on out there.
So these exosomes are so small, Larry, again, 1,000th the width of a human hair, that they get across the blood-brain barrier. So most drugs can't get into the brain.
Yeah.
The brain has a barrier that prevents things from getting across.
Yeah.
And we have a group of neurologists that are treating young people every day that have concussions from car accidents. It's called traumatic brain injury. You see it in the NFL too, of course.
Yeah.
Right. From football. But anyway, there's no good treatment right now. And some of these people have chronic symptoms, brain fog, aches. They've been getting great results. And we are about to start, it looks like, a major research project with the Neurology Network, specifically for the number 2 cause of disability in adolescents and young people, which is car accidents and brain concussions. And it's all around exosomes getting into the brain and damping down the inflammation that occurs when you have a concussion.
Wow. That's mind blowing because, I've got some experience with a traumatic brain injury from a cycling accident in downtown Palm Beach about 15 years ago. And someone referred me over to this group in Tampa, 4-hour drive each way. And they said, you got a TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. And they said, they said they fixed it. It feels like they fixed it, but it's hard to monitor. They do the mind mapping and all that. But you know what it cost me? 300 trips.
Wow.
To Tampa.
Wow.
8 hours each trip, going and coming, so they could zap me. They put the thing on the 17 things with on your head.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
That's the only kind of treatment there is, at least that was.
That's what's interesting about this area. There's nothing that really is proven to work.
Right.
This neurologists think this is working, but what we need to do in science, you sometimes think things work. You've got to actually do the research.
Right.
Gold standard of research is you got to treat a bunch of people with your therapy.
Yeah.
And you have to pick a random group that looks exactly like them. One you get the therapy, one you get salt water, one you get the therapy, one you get salt water.
Yeah.
And then you have to see what the results are, because if you tell somebody that you're going to give them something that's going to help them, the mind is a powerful tool. You sometimes believe it works.
Yeah, the placebo.
The placebo effect, right?
Yeah.
So this is why the FDA requires these placebo-controlled trials, and that's the kind of stuff we're doing.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be exciting for you to be in this situation at this, because I don't know a more exciting area of medicine right now.
It is, yeah. If you had to pick, you said, Larry, what would 3 areas be that could change everything?
Right.
This is one of them. I mean, there might be a couple others around gene therapy and stuff like that, but this is certainly one of the 3 areas that could change everything.
Well, this is, it's very exciting. You and I are going to be big friends for a long time because this is going to, this is going to happen, and it's just a matter of following the bouncing ball. And so, doors are going to open and for you. And so you got an exciting future ahead of yourself. And the great thing is, Harry, the preparation you've had, I don't know about divine intervention or whatever, but you've been in positions where you have been uniquely prepared, to handle something like this. So I'm excited for you.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm very graciously humble about it because, this is my first chance, despite everything I've done.
Right.
This is my first shot at being the CEO. I've always been the chief medical guy. So after working for other people for all these years, over 25 years, to really be able to build my own team and to do it, the way that I think it is best to put things together and motivate people and put an organization together. It's a great time for me. And I'm very grateful to the people who supported me along the way. I mean, my wife, I'm divorced now, but my wife, she went through 7 moves with me.
Really? Yeah.
And supported me all those years. So we're still good friends, and I'm grateful that she was willing to support that. So, there's a lot of sacrifice along the way, and I feel lucky I'm in the position I am right now. Really do.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you had a long, hard day, and it's always tough talking to people at the end of their long, hard days in the office. But I appreciate your energy, your insight, and willingness to open up and share all of this stuff. I always let my guests have the last word to pass on to people who have stayed with us the whole time and listened to the whole conversation. So what kind of final word would you pass on to people who want to be high achievers,
Yeah, I guess just to wax philosophically at the end, maybe, and kind of put some of the ideas together. Someone once said, I did a retreat with a leadership expert years ago. And I'll never forget what he said, because it kind of consolidates some of the things you and I just talked about, Larry. He said, what's really important in life is 2 things. One, what you choose to do with your time on earth.
Yeah.
And number 2, who you choose to kind of connect to in that journey, who's with you. And if for the listeners, at least professionally, making sure you're passionate. We talked about this. You really care about what you're doing and it means something to you.
Right.
You're working with or for people that you care about and you like and that give you energy. Yeah. That's the magic. So that's the thoughts I would leave people with.
Fantastic. I think that's right on the money. And I can't think of a better thought to send people away with. Thanks so much, Harry. Look forward to.
Thank you, Larry. And really, thank you for the opportunity. It was a pleasure.
And say hello to Bob and the Harvey and all the gang. And I'll look forward to being down there and see what's going on down there sometime soon.
That'd be great. Look forward to it.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Million Dollar Mastermind. If you felt there were any valuable takeaways from this episode, please take a minute and leave us a 5-star review. Your feedback is important and really helps us get the word out to a wider audience. Remember, we have a valuable webinar that is absolutely free. Register for it right now at weidelonwinning.com. Thanks for listening.